What's up, you guys? So today we're going to be reviewing Put a Ring on It, which is a new series on OWN. I think this is like episode 3 or so. Either way, we're not that far behind. So let's go ahead and get into it. I guess I'll give you all like a little brief intro if you don't know what the show is. But anyway, it's like 3 couples that go there, and basically they're all trying to get their dudes to put a ring on it. And they all have their separate issues and whatnot. And while they're there, the main exercises that they do is going out on dates with other people to see if they really want to stay in their relationships or if they want to go and test the waters. Okay, so let's get into it. We started off with Ashley in Hollywood with his hairline and muscles. Shay and Mike that looks like an off-brand Leon. And then we had Mimi and Ulysses, I think. But Mimi's dad was very sick, so they had to leave. And so on this episode, we got a new couple, Tamika and Vince. So, we start off the episode with Dr. Nicole addressing that, Mimi and Ulysses, whatever his name was, Mimi and Terrence Howard Jr. are not going to be on the show anymore because she needed to go check on her dad. And they're bringing in a new couple, Tamika and Vince, who have been together for 2.5 years. And they seem happy because Vince is all like, oh, I'll marry her right now. I'm ready to make it do what it do, da-da-da-da. But the issue is, as we come to find out, he lie like a rug, okay? Vince says that whenever he gets a phone call or goes out somewhere, Tamika gets really jealous. And at first you're like, okay, well, why would she be getting jealous? And then we find out that because when they got together, he decided that it was okay for him to still be fully entertaining another woman and just called her crazy. Meanwhile, homegirl was sitting up DMing Tamika saying, oh, this is my man, sending her DMs and pictures and all of that type of stuff. And when she confronted him about it, he was just like, oh, she's crazy, da-da-da-da. You know how dudes be doing. And Tamika says she just chalked it up to, like whatever they had just gotten together, so she wasn't going to trip about it. But then she said a couple months later, the girl was still DMing her like, why are you still in the picture? And she was like, what you mean? And so the girl tells her that Vince went to Chicago with her family while he told her he was supposed to be going out of town on a business meeting. And then when she confronted Mike about it, he just acted like it wasn't nothing. This looks like he could be Usher's son, and that's pretty much all I gathered that, and he's a liar. Hollywood and his hairline and muscles are in the car with Ashley, and they're talking about basically their little blow-up spat that they just had. Ashley feels unstable because whenever they argue, Hollywood's first go-to is to just leave the relationship, and she doesn't like that. Hollywood says he feels like she's making him wait longer than he had to propose to her, but she quickly let him know that was a lie because he made her wait basically 5 years to get engaged to. Then, he called off the wedding and she had to wait another 2 years, and she was like, you had me waiting for 7 years. And so they just decided that they were just going to do whatever they wanted to do, which I don't really know what that means, but Hollywood says that a lot, like, let me do me. Okay, brother. Ashley says she feels undeniable pain because Hollywood was playing around all those years, and in the midst of all those years he was playing around, her father died. And so now she'll never have her dad to walk her down the aisle, and that really hurts her. Hollywood and his hairline feels like Ashley has been pushing him away, and he's tired of being pushed away. Ashley feels like she has pressed her emotions deep down in her soul, and she's not pressed to get married right now because you weren't pressed when she was pressed to do it. So, that is not one of her main concerns at this moment. Tamika and Vince are chit-chatting about their experience so far, and Tamika likes the fact that everybody is there for the same reason. Basically, they all have relationship issues, and all of them want to get married. I'm not so sure that Ashley and Hollywood really want to get married at this point, though. But nevertheless, pretty much everybody is there for the same reason because they need to know whether their relationship needs to continue or needs to come to a screeching halt. Tamika wants Vince to open up because she feels like he's a closed book, and she feels like she has to always beat around the bush to get him to answer questions. And I just feel like he a little slick. And I feel like that's why you always have to ask him a million questions to get to the one question that you having to ask. Because I just don't like how he just hid all that stuff from you, girl. I'm sorry. It just don't look good for the home team. Because I just feel like he's a liar. Like, you've given us, you haven't even been here a full 24 hours and you giving us multiple scenarios where you just lied and lied and lied and lied like a rug. Tamika says she wants him to have fun but no lovey-dovey stuff. And Vince said he could see himself being interested in other women, and I was like, pause. If you can see yourself being interested in other women, then how are you ready to marry her? Because I feel like if you want to marry somebody, you only have eyes for them. Not saying that you can't find other people attractive, but he said he can find himself being interested in other women. So that means you're trying to test the waters, and it's just like, stop playing with this girl and let her go. Ashley goes out on her date with this real nice looking artist. We liked him. And she said she's trying to open up more on this date. Is it just me, or was Ashley giving like a little Faith Evans in her confessional with like the new hair and stuff like that? I liked it. They were flirting a lot and it was real cute. Don't he look like he would be somebody that Tyler Perry would hire? Like he could be on Sisters or something like that. He really looks like somebody that Tyler Perry would have on one of his shows. Maybe he should try out for an acting gig or something. They get real touchy-feely, and Ashley gets a hand massage, and she really enjoys it. And I really liked their date. I liked him for her better than I like Hollywood and his hairline. She had a really good time on her date, and in this episode we didn't get to see whether they wanted to go out on another date with that person, but I guess we'll see that next episode. But I hope she goes out on another date with him. Then we have all the girls meet up and they're going to have champagne, except for Ashley, who I don't know if she doesn't drink or maybe it was just too early in the morning for her to be drinking in. I don't know. But Shay and Ashley are prepping Tamika for what she should expect and letting her know, like, you know, all of y'all relationship issues are going to be uncovered. Even the ones that you try to sweep under the rug, Dr. Nicole is going to bring those out, so just be prepared for that. While Tamika is asking Shay about her and Mike's relationship, Ashley brings up the fact that Shay ghosted Mike. And I feel like that's an awkward situation because it's typically the guy that ghosts the girl, but it seems like Shay has a mentality of how dudes treat females when they ghost them. Like, oh, you should have got over that. Okay, I ghosted you. I'm here now though. So what's up? Like, that's how a lot of dudes act, and that's how Shay is acting about this situation. And I really feel like Mike is holding out on her because he feels some type of way about her being ghosted. And what if this is a little like revenge plot of his? Like, oh, you drugged me along, you ghosted me, so now I'm gonna do the same thing to you. Tamika starts talking about her relationship a little bit, and this is where she goes more in depth about something that I said earlier about how he was supposed to go out on a business trip and come to find out he was with the girl who had DM'd her before, and she let them know, like, nah, this isn't the first time that he lied. There's been multiple scenarios, and I just feel like if it's that big of a lie, why are you still there? I mean, like, she's a pretty girl. Why are you still with him? For the most part, when you start talking to somebody, especially this day and age, they're going to be talking to other people. So it's understandable that you were talking to somebody else. But once y'all decide to make it official, why didn't you cut off everybody that you were talking to? And then on top of that, even months down the road, the girl DM'd her, asking her why she was still in the picture. So I just don't understand, like, what is making her stay? And she says up until this day, Vince still will not admit to it, even though she has a plethora of receipts. He will not admit to it, and I just don't like that, because I feel like if you're gonna lie a little bit, you're gonna lie a lot. So Shay and Mike are having dinner, and it's real cute. Are these their apartments there, or do they set them up in little apartments? I'm really confused. Like, do these people live in Atlanta, or do they live in their respective areas and they just came to Atlanta to film? I don't know. Anyway, they're having dinner and they're like about to, you know, cheers the little wine glasses, and Mike says, oh, I thought you were about to say cheers to getting married. And I'm just like, you are such a butt. Like, I just really do not like him. But I just really don't like his attitude, like his demeanor towards her. Like how he told her the other episode, oh, well, I know you're not going nowhere. I feel your cupping up. How do you know? He just got a little bit too much dip on his chip for me. So then, of course, Shay tells him that she plans on getting engaged this year and she wants to be married by next year. And he was like, hold up. I don't know about all that. And she was like, well, I'm not going to be waiting around next year. And that she wants to move on like Maya, okay? She says Mike needs to meet her in the middle, and clearly he has no intentions on doing that by all of his responses that he gives to anything that is said in regards to marriage. So Tamika goes out with this man who has a lot of personality, with his galaxy and all the stars on the back of his vest that he had on. I was like, okay then. But he seems really funny. He was talking a lot, and I feel like it was a lot for Tamika because she seems like a little bit more reserved. He was more like boom, pow, in your face, you know, with his personality and stuff like that. Tamika says she likes artsy guys, and he was like, oh, well, I can make anything out of duct tape. And I was just like, not the duct tape. That's not something I feel like you would want to talk about on the first date, but okay. He says he likes dad jokes, and I am a fan of dad jokes myself. I actually laughed at the joke that he told. He asked her, was she a cat lady? And she was like, yeah, I have 2 cats. And then he was like, oh, what do you call them out of cats? And then she was like, I don't know. And he was like, a meowton. Okay, I really love dad jokes. I tell dad jokes all the time. Like, they're just hilarious to me. And she did not laugh. Most people don't laugh when you tell dad jokes because they're so lame, but that's the point. They're supposed to be lame. That's why they're funny. Anyway, Tamika lets him know that she wants a big family, like a 5, and he was like, dang, that's a lot. But she tells him that she grew up in a large family, so she wants one as well. He brought a succulent plant for her to remind her that the date didn't suck. And I thought that was funny. Like, he was funny. I just felt like he was a lot to swallow on the first date, but he was funny. I liked him for the most part. And I like plants, so that was really nice. She'll always have something to remember him by because you're going to keep a plant, you know. Well, hopefully she kept it. Shay goes out with this guy named Peyton. I'm not sure who he looks like. I wanted to say, like, a great value B.O.B., but I feel like it's somebody else that he looks like. Shay asked him what he liked about relationships, and she told him that she was in a relationship, and she's ready to get married and move on and do the next step. And he was like, oh, so you're not the problem, he is. And she was like, yeah, I'm perfect. I was like, lie again. Because, you know, doggone well that y'all whole issue, one of y'all whole issues is you leave. And I feel like they really need to tell, like, the whole story. Because I get that she ghosted him, but, like, when and how did she ghost him, and how long did it take her to come back? You know? Because I think that they were dating. I feel like at first they said it was like they were together for 2 weeks and she ghosted him. And then the next time I feel like they said it was some months. And that counts. Like, if you're talking to somebody for 2 weeks and you ghost them, that happens a lot. But if you actually been talking to somebody for months and y'all are like in a relationship and then you ghosted him, that would make more sense as to why he's more reserved. I feel like I would like to see like their one-on-one with Dr. Nicole, because I need to know what all happened in there. But she need to stop lying, because she knows doggone well that their main issue in the relationship is that she ghosted him and went back to one of her exes because she was still in love with him. So I was like, girl, how dare you sit up on here and lie like this man ain't gonna watch the show? But okay. Dr. Nicole comes to Hollywood and Ashley's house. She feels like they have a lot of tension that they need to resolve. Dr. Nicole asked Hollywood why he proposed in the first place if he wasn't ready, and he let her know it was because he felt like Ashley gave him an ultimatum, and she felt like it was a small ultimatum, but it was a big ultimatum, and he didn't want to lose her, so she went ahead and proposed. But then he ended up breaking off the doggone engagement anyway, so it was like you could have just lost her. You ain't have to go through all of that if you didn't want to do it no way. And not a girl daddy dead, can't even walk her down the aisle. Y'all got a whole nother plethora of issues that you got to deal with, not because you want to play around and fool-la-la. She also asked him what he thought was going to happen when he called off the wedding. And he said at the time he didn't care because he was only worried about Hollywood and his headline and his muscles. So Dr. Nicole broke down to him that he basically pulled the rug out from under Ashley. Like, you gave her this grand proposal in front of all these people, planned this whole wedding. She had gotten her dress and everything, and you just called off the wedding. So you just ended her fairy tale. And Ashley was like, yeah, that's basically what happened. And now when she looks at her dress, she doesn't even want it anymore. And it's like, that's sad because you really took this away from this girl. And then, like I said, her daddy can't even walk her down the aisle, and that was really huge for her. And you sat up here and played around with this girl's life. 9 years. No. So we're back at Tamika's home, and she tells Vince that she went on a date. So he sits down and asks her how it went. And she said it was cool, but she wasn't all the way there because she was thinking about him, much like the other couples did on their first date, except for the men. I don't feel like the men were thinking about their significant others. I think it was more so the women, but I digress. Vince is concerned that somebody's going to come in and swoop Tamika away, as they should, because you are a liar. You are a liar. Nobody should be with you. All you do is lie, and your lies just going to continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and it's not going to be good for the home team. Tamika isn't worried about anybody stealing Vince from her, but what she is worried about is him going out on dates and not being honest about getting to know people. As soon as she said that, there was a knock on the door, and she was like, that better not be your date. And of course it was his date. So he goes over to the door, and he's all shook because it's his date. And so she was like, hi, I'm his girlfriend, you know, out loud from the living room or whatever. And Jazzy, his date, she was like, hey, girlfriend. And then she said, are you ready to go? And he was like, I don't know, I guess. Like, he was just stammering, stuttering. He didn't know what to do, okay? Jazzy, I don't know if he opened the door for her to come in or if she just felt bold enough to walk in their house. But either way, she came in the house and she was like, well, we finna sit down and talk or something, what's going on? And Tamika was like, no, we're not. Y'all can go. And so then Vince comes and tells her bye, you know, gives her a little kiss on the cheek. She all like, okay, go ahead. They proceed to walk out of the door, and she sits down and says, I just think it's funny how, or I just don't think it's fair how. And then she was like, never mind. And her voice was all cracking while she was doing that. And so Vince turns around and he's like, babe. And then she was like, just go. Okay? And I'm just like, girl, you really gonna sit on here on this couch and cry while this woman is walking out the house with your man? You don't know I'm supposed to let another female see you sweat like that. And literally cry. Girl, I was just so through. And I understand that she has insecurities, but you are not supposed to do that. No, ma'am. You do not cry, because now that girl is going to feel like she said in her little confessional, oh, I feel like she's really insecure and da-da-da-da. And I'm just like, girl, I can't believe you really sat up here and about cried, had your voice cracking and everything in front of this woman. No, guy. No. That was the end of this episode. I can't wait until next week because this show is really interesting. I just started watching Ready to Love. I'm not sure if I'm going to review that yet. I don't know what day it even comes on, but I may or may not review it. But either way, this is Put a Ring on It. Hope you all enjoyed the episode. See y'all in the next one. Bye.